It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. If you at the #2, nobody remember you. It's the #1 spot.
Welcome back to the #1 spot, man. Y'all just checked out another hot video. Hey, it's definitely an honor and a pleasure to introduce my next guest. Man, hey, she does it all, man. I don't even know where to start, man. She's been through a lot in a short period of time, man, and she's overcome a lot in a short period of time. And she has a compelling story, man, and we're gonna get into much of the meat and potatoes as we can of her powerful story. But like I say, we have the brilliant and the very talented Rich Love Society in the building.
Thank you so much for having me, and I want to say first and foremost thank you to God.
Absolutely.
Because I wouldn't have made it through the things that I've gone through without him by my side.
Man, absolutely. I always got to give honor to God first and foremost. You know what I'm talking about? God is good all the time.
All the time.
Straight up. You fresh, straight off of G-Town at the Mardi Gras. How you enjoyed that?
It was really good. It was really exciting. I've actually never been to Mardi Gras. I've never.
Oh, okay. Wow. First
pretty,
experience.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Man, that's awesome. Would you go again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Man, that works. Man, I need to bring the Mardi Gras to Houston, man. I think that'd be cool.
Bring a lot of things to Houston.
Absolutely. Hollywood, and I know that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But what I want to do, I'm doing things a little bit different. So I want to go down memory lane, if you will, a little bit. Probably, I guess, roughly 8 to maybe 10 years ago, something like that. And I just want you to, paint that picture for us, what was Rich Love, doing before the TV and radio hosting, before the empowering women and, the blogging and the music, and before all those things, what was Rich Love doing at that time?
Rich Love was really struggling.
Yeah.
I was very content with the person that I was. I was content with being a drug addict.
Yeah.
A drug dealer.
Yeah.
And the majority of my struggles happened as an adolescent.
Mm-hmm.
I was trafficked.
Wow.
I ran away from home, so I was on missing posters, and I was taken advantage of by many people. I was gang raped.
Wow.
And I just didn't see value in myself. I sold my body the first time when I was 16 for $100 on the floor of a gas station parking lot.
Wow.
And just thinking of that little girl, I know that there's so many other young women that have been through things, especially when music and society has normalized prostitution. A lot of the lyrics in music, they speak about doing certain things for a man if they give you certain things.
Right.
And I just know that, drug addiction, 8 years ago, I woke up October 4th.
Wow.
And God literally took the desire and the craving for crack. I was shooting methamphetamines into my veins.
Wow.
I remember taking about 10x pills in one night, and I was standing in front of the mirror and I saw my veins bulging, I saw my pupils dilated, and the sweat going down. I could even feel and see my heart beating out of my chest.
Yeah.
And I wasn't high.
Yeah.
And I told myself, as I went to take an 11th ecstasy pill, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And had I not saw in the mirror that I was definitely high, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
And for God to remove all of those addictions, alcohol, cigarettes, overnight. And I wasn't praying for deliverance from drugs. I started using drugs when I was about 12 years old. And
so just real quick, I just want to interject real quick. So what was do you feel like that was an escape for you? What kind of drove you on this path, I guess?
being out of control, wanting to control everything, and not knowing who I was, not having confidence. But the majority, you know, I've been speaking on panels and in schools, and I've been asked this question, and I really didn't know. And I really had to search my soul, especially in my music process with writing. And I truly believe that I had demonic visits. You know, I've been held down in my sleep. I've been held down while I was awake. I would have dreams of things that would come true, and
like
I
premonitions, is that what they call it?
And I didn't understand what they meant. And especially in the African American community, we really, especially in that time, it wasn't something where you're like, okay, let's go speak to a doctor, or it was just, you just deal with it. And I think I was escaping something very scary for me, and it just snowballed from there.
Wow. Man, that's pretty deep there, just how, you know, it's just one of those things, man, like you say, how just God just steps in and just basically really just change our lives around, like you say, change that taste from alcohol or from drugs.
It was
or whatever.
Literally overnight. 2012, I had a nervous breakdown, and honestly, I really think I should have been committed. I've been in mental hospitals before as an adolescent for bulimia and depression and all these things they diagnosed me with. But at that time, Satan had me believing that praying was giving me panic attacks, and I was having them multiple times a day. I was trying to go to church as much as possible because I didn't want to live. I didn't understand what was wrong with me. And I literally woke up and I didn't realize that I was sober until about a week and a half later. I looked at the calendar and I was like, you haven't used, mark this date down. And here I am 8 years later.
Man, that's awesome.
And I haven't touched
That's
anything.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Congratulations,
much.
man. We're going to have to hit that button, applause button. Man, that's super awesome. That's super awesome. And just speaking along those lines, just I guess kind of having premonitions and stuff like that. You say you kind of had like some kind of I just want to clarify some things. Okay, unfortunately, your mother just passed. Not too long ago. Our condolences on that, man. I really don't know how that feels. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, you know how people say, I know how you feeling, but that's being in those shoes, man, is something that's totally different from anything that you can feel in life, I feel, so definitely our strongest condolences on that one. And also, I just want to say, just speaking on the premonitions, you said, like, you say you kind of felt something. It was something deep inside of you.
As far as my mother?
Yeah, that was going on that we was speaking about, this was some weeks ago or so. That we was talking about it, but I just remember that, and I just want just tell us a little bit about that, like just that process, I guess.
Well, for me, the majority of the times it's through dreams. My mother passed away about 26 days ago. It was very unexpected, very healthy. We had no signs of anything. And what began to happen, I began having very vivid demonic dreams. Dreams of certain things that signify death. And I didn't know what it was, but I was very prayed up.
Absolutely. Gotta stay prayed up.
And I remember speaking to some of my producers that are also CHH, which is Christian hip hop artists.
Okay.
And we began to pray. And after that first night, then I had another dream, very vivid, where I knew that it was telling me something. And then after we prayed, we got down on our knees, and I just said, I don't know what's happening. I feel like there's something that's about to happen, and I don't understand. So praying, of course. And the last dream, I was visited, and I'm not sure if I was asleep. I tell myself I was asleep, but honestly, I don't believe I was. And I was visited by a dark force. And it basically told me that it was gonna break me. What that meant, I don't know. But after a lot of prayer again,
absolutely,
I had another dream about 10 days before my mother passed, and it was completely different. And I didn't realize it until we were on the way to the hospital that I dreamt my mother's funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, and I told my mother, I texted her, and I told her, you know, I have this dream about you, and I woke up sobbing. But the reason why I believe that was an angelic presence, it was a feeling I had never felt before. It was a feeling of so much joy and so much sorrow at the exact same time.
Wow, that's deep.
And it was nothing like I'd ever felt in real life. And I honestly believe that was God coming in to say,
absolutely,
you know, her time has come. Because after she passed, I was very angry. Because, not very angry, I was just in a place I've never been. My mom was my best friend. I would talk to her 3 and 4 times a day, so I didn't know what to feel. We're planning the funeral, so I'm just going. You're just on autopilot.
Right.
And once everyone goes back home and travels home and it's just me, I was angry because I thought, why would I have this gift or whatever this is if I couldn't save my mother with it?
Absolutely.
And I find peace in knowing that God came to take her. I believe that that's what that dream was. So no matter what I could have done, it was her time. And I have to accept God. And the biggest factor is trusting God and appreciating what He does, even if it's something we don't like.
Right, absolutely. You have to, you know, just look at it. You know, God does things in His own time, and you know, it's something, like you say, it's something that we may not understand at the time, you know, but it's something that makes us stronger. You know, at the end of the day. So with that being said, she left you with some words of wisdom. You know, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, due to the first dreams, because my mother knows about my dreams and stuff, and she was telling me, you know, you have everything that God has for you. You know, don't believe that you need certain people or certain things. You have everything that you need.
Absolutely.
But I was in Atlanta the week she passed. I arrived back from Atlanta Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Because I have my radio show that I had to attend to. And I saw her that night. And that night, she told me basically to go for my dreams, give 110% of you know, my talent, and so many other things. But I thank the Lord because she passed after I got back. I was able to see her.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because that very next day is when she passed away.
Wow. Man, I know we go through a lot of things in life, but it's almost nothing can really prepare you for anything like that. It's like you kind of try to make it up in your mind that you will be when that time comes, but it's like it's still a hard pill to swallow, you know. Real quick, before we go into some of your music, what was one of the, I know it's a lot of them, of course, but like one that you can just think of right now, one of the most happiest moments?
Oh man, there's so many. The happiest moment with my mother was probably when I came back from an adolescent treatment center. And after all the things that I had done, being incarcerated, being jailed, and just being away for so long as a teenager, the embrace that I received from my mother, just always knowing that no matter what I did, she was always going to love me unconditionally. And like I told you, when I woke up sober, I wasn't praying for it, but I know my mother was. And that's the thing, that even if we don't want certain things, God has a plan and a purpose for your life.
That's true.
And it will come to pass if we do the work.
That's true. Absolutely.
And that's what my mother taught me.
And real quick, we got like a minute and something left. Can you give us just, it was one thing that, you know, you could tell the world, you know, somebody that maybe that never met your mother, one thing that you could tell them about her.
Oh, my mother. She has the sweetest voice, like an angel, like a little girl. And something that I want to say about her is, I thank God that we had the 60 years that we had with her, because we didn't have to have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that God just wanted His angel home, and I really believe that what her passing has taught me and what I think she would want other people to know, because she was always giving back. She was always doing for other people.
Wow.
Everyone at her work, they had to call in grievance counselors for them because they were just so distraught, because she's always just trying to do for everyone.
Humanitarian.
Yes. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to keep in mind of your legacy.
Absolutely.
Because what are people going to say about you when you're not here?
That's true.
When my mother passed, I had such a huge outpouring of... You want to cut it?
Yeah.
I hate this piece of shit phone. Whoa, don't throw it in the pool!
I had such a huge outpouring of love and stories and the kindness that she gave. And people would come up to me at the funeral and just say like, man, your mom makes me want to step my game up. Because she did it from the heart. She didn't do it expecting something. And I think that her legacy and the love that she gave will stay with many people for years to come.
Man, that's awesome. Man, you make me, I wish I would have got an opportunity to meet her, man. She sounds like a real great soul. And like I say, man, our condolences.
Thank you.
And we're gonna be back with more Rich Love Society in the building. Already, matter of fact, shoot us to your first video real quick.
The first video is Walkthrough.
Okay.
I wrote that at a time when I was just starting out with music, really, and I kind of stumbled into rap. It's not something that I ever thought that I would do. And it just speaks about walking through your obstacles and your challenges, regardless of what happens. I speak a little bit about there's a lot of messages in it that you may not know. But there's one line where I say, fighting evil while I'm sitting here eating my sandwich. And that goes to the bulimia, because I literally would have to fight the voices and the thoughts in my head that would tell me that I was worthless and that I was gonna be fat and no one's gonna love me. And just fighting through that, you know, no matter what you're fighting through, if you continue to walk one step forward, even when you get knocked back 30 times.
Absolutely.
Keep walking.
You gotta you gotta brush yourself off and keep moving. Absolutely. Hey, we're gonna shoot into that right now. Walkthrough, baby. By Rich Love Society, exclusive right here on the #1 spot, baby.
What's up, what's up? What up, this 007, Fifth Ward's finest, you know, Fifth Ward boys, you know what I'm talking about, rap a lot. I'm chilling with the #1 spot, one.
Welcome back to the #1 spot. Hey, y'all just checked out that walkthrough by my very special guest, Rich Love Society. In the building right now, man. Hey, man, we have so many things to talk about, man, but we gonna get into the music right now. How did the music come about? And then you doing Christian rap, what is it, CHH?
CHH.
Okay, what's that stand for?
Christian hip hop.
Christian hip hop. So obviously, it's God inspired, obviously.
It really is.
Obviously. So just how did it come about to you want to do music? I mean, you do so many other things.
Music is not something, honestly, from my past, you would expect music. My father is a jazz musician. I play oboe, flute, piano.
Wow.
He plays all those things, plus saxophone, clarinet, trumpet.
What?
Yes.
Stop it.
So he made sure all of his kids and my mother learned how to play instruments. I was in choir, regional choir, I was in marching band.
Oh, you was working.
Yes. But through all of my struggles and obstacles, all of that went to the back burner. I didn't think about that, and I did a parody to Outside Today from NBA Youngboy.
I remember that.
Because I just felt like when I heard the song, I would just imagine a kid like sitting out in his house looking out the window wanting to go play. And a producer that was on one of the shows that I'm on, he came on, he was like, I know you're trying to be funny because I had my pink wig and I was in the playground being goofy. And he was like, but you kind of got bars. And so that's just kind of how that began. I never saw myself as a rapper because I mean, I don't really have the dialect of like a hip hop sound.
What?
But
you're a beast. You'll be. I don't know if that's such a thing in Christian hip hop, but you're a beast. Hey, I really like your music, man. You do your thing. I like your stage performance too as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the CHH came about years ago. I learned about a radio station called InGen.
Okay.
And KSBJ, and they're primarily, I mean, all they have is Christian music. That's it.
Gotcha.
And I just believe, me personally, I love that women are standing their ground.
Yeah,
there's a whole Me Too movement, and we're really strong, and we're entrepreneurs, and we're just shining.
Yeah.
And I love that because males have dominated the rap game for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But me personally, I know that God didn't save me and deliver me from so many dark places for me to glorify a lifestyle that nearly killed me. I've been trafficked, I've been gang raped, I've been through so many things. So when I hear music that's glorifying prostitution, that doesn't excite me.
Right.
I know that I was saved to save other little girls.
Absolutely.
I spoke at a school that was about a 5-minute walk from a place that I used to prostitute at.
Wow.
And I spoke and I told the kids my story, and at the end, a girl that was in foster care, which I was in foster care through the juvenile justice system in Harris County, and she came up to me at the end and she said, you know, I tried to kill myself, I've been raped, I've overdosed. This is a 13-year-old girl. And she said, she's in the foster care system, and she said, because of your story and you telling your story, I know that my life has a purpose too.
Wow.
So to me, I heard God's voice vividly say, this is where you belong. And from that moment, I don't ever hold back my story.
Absolutely.
I don't ever try and diminish or withhold the things that God delivered me from, because when I began to tell my story, it started because I heard the Lord's voice say to me, where is my glory? Because I had this story that can save lives and really open up and show God's mercy and grace, and I don't want to share it. I don't want to tell someone because I don't want to be judged. It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about what we can do to change the world.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what it's about, man. Just sparking that, you know, that one child's brain, or that one person's brain, you know, or, you know, even millions, you know, eventually, man. Like, that's what it's all about right there. Like, that's what I feel like. That's what I like doing, inspiring. You know. Rich Love in the building, man. If y'all just tuning in right now, man, Rich Love Society definitely is in the building right now. In the building, always
represent that SWAT, that side.
Hey, what? Boo!
Don't play me.
Now, see, I went to Hastings though, man. Hastings.
The Teddy Grahams?
The Teddy Grahams.
Teddy
What is that? What y'all call us now? The Teddy Grahams?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, what is the Elsic though?
We're the Rams.
Oh, okay.
The Rams.
The Elsic Rams.
Yes.
I think y'all biting off a Dodge Ram.
Whatever.
No, but anyway, I had no idea though, man. Small world. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't know though, in H-Town, man, those high schools like right across the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
And we're rivals.
Yes, forever rivals, man. Hey, and then go to happy hour at the end of the day, everybody cool. Man, trip. Man, what is your studio process like? First of all, man, to speak on your producer that you work with and the studio that you.
So I work with multiple producers.
Okay.
I think just to name a few that have been the most involved. I work with Chef Dillo from Oracle Studios. He's now in LA. He's worked on Tyga's Mamacita, Carlos Santana. I work with Great Rock, Ravion Reed, who also has Kinetic Vibes, and that was at Starrett Street Studios. I've worked with Military Minded G. He is also a Christian hip hop artist and collaborated with me on Rich Love Society. And then lastly, I worked with HK Kal-El, and he is out of Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. So what is your like? I'm sure your process with all those guys are different.
Yes.
I'm sure. So Like what? Just give me an example. Like, what's your process like? I know, like in the studio, like, do you come up with the hook first? Do you come up with the verses first? Do you already have something pre-written? Do you listen to the beat and it kind of tells you what to do? Or like what's
Honestly,
that?
there is no method to my madness.
Are you serious?
I get the song and I write around the song. So I may have lyrics that I've already stored up. Things just come to my mind randomly. Someone will say something and I'll be like, oh, and it sparks something within me, and I write that down. So whenever I begin to write a song, the only thing that's structured is what I'm going to rap about.
Okay.
And that keeps me in line and focused.
Yeah, so you stick to the subject.
God just pours in thoughts, and I've learned through, losing my mother most recently that I was very picky and very critical of myself on so many levels.
Yeah.
I think a lot of humans do that. Either you're like egotistical, like on some Kanye level, or you don't really see the value in you.
Right.
And I think with losing my mother, I think it's more about the content. It's more about what am I speaking about. Maybe I don't like the delivery as much. Maybe I don't like certain aspects because I want to be perfect, even though that's impossible. But I just began to listen to my music to heal myself.
Absolutely.
And I began to hear the Holy Spirit and be moved.
Yeah.
And that's what I want other people to feel. I want for them to know, you can do it.
Yeah.
I've been in the car listening to my music and literally hearing, no one's gonna like this, no one's gonna buy this.
Yeah.
Who do you think that you are? And literally casting it down, like, no, God does have a plan for my life. I do have a purpose. He delivered me for this reason here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I found out, man, it's fans for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you do, it's fans for everybody, no matter what genre or what, how you feel like people might not perceive it or what. It's like, it's somebody that likes that. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't want to always be for everybody. Like,
that's it.
I'm not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
The message that I'm sending may not be popular.
That's it.
Because I'm not trying to make friends. I'm not trying to be liked.
That's right.
I'm trying to save souls.
I heard that. Man, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. No, that's right. Got the album on the way right now.
Oh, yeah.
Speak to us a little bit about that and the inspiration behind it.
The inspiration behind it in the beginning came from, I write. I started a blog, richlovesociety.com. Go there. Make sure that you go there and follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it began. I don't even know what I was talking about. What were we talking about?
We was talking about the album and the inspiration behind the album.
So it's the inspiration for the album started from me wanting to get my story out and the message of hope. And then I began to realize that yes, I could write books, but music is instant connection. It's someone doesn't even have to think about it. They just put it on and it just goes.
Yeah.
So what are we feeding people? I want to feed people hope, as I said before. But it started out where it was more story driven. It was more, let me speak about how God turned my life around. But now it's the legacy of my mother. It's knowing that life is too short. So the focus of my first album is now it's different. The album is going to be called like Mother Like Daughter. And I'm going to have a few tribute songs to her. And there's going to be a song where I'm speaking to her about losing her. And then there's going to be a song where she's speaking to me about being in heaven. Wow. And
that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's even crazier, and this is how I know God works in very, his own way and his own timing, but I accidentally recorded a conversation with someone that was speaking to me about my mother. And it was so moving and so touching. And so I'm going to have a little insert of that. And then directly after that conversation, which I didn't know I was recording, I recorded myself sobbing. You can hear my heart breaking in my tears. And so I'm going to play that as well. And then that's going to interlude into the song for my mother.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Woo. Man.
Because, I've had so many people say, you know, you don't have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can grieve.
Yeah.
At the funeral, I spoke. I did her eulogy, and I, you know, was cracking jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't want us to be sad.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And so I think people think that I'm gonna snap, or maybe I'm gonna get on drugs again, or you know, they're just worried because I do give a lot of myself to save other people, but I'm so strong. And to people that say, people that say, you know, you don't have to be strong. I know I don't have to be. Yeah. I'm not trying to be. I just am.
That's it.
I'm like my mother. Like, we just roll with the punches, and trusting in God makes a huge difference. And
absolutely.
Do that, everything is different.
That's your strength right there. You know, Lord, it's like when I guess nobody else is there, He's always there. Always. You know what I'm talking about. I think we got a couple of seconds left, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit that because I know we're gonna run over a little bit. But so. All right, so basically, where we at?
The music.
The music. Okay, so through the music, obviously, you're empowering people,
right?
And through your organizations, well, basically your whole movement is to empower women.
It's to empower women, but it's really to empower anyone.
Yeah.
I work with Real Beauty, Real Women, and our main focus is human trafficking. We're one of the largest nonprofits within Houston, Texas, as far as the work that we do.
Gotcha.
You know, there's a lot of nonprofits that when the cameras are rolling, when the backdrop and step and repeat is there, they are there, ready for that photo op. But when, you know, the money's collected and no one's watching, everyone does things differently.
Gotcha.
We focus so much on giving back and creating change and opening up doors for other survivors that money funding is like the last thing on our mind.
Right.
Because we're actually making a difference.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest movements that we've been a part of is I don't know if you know, but it was announced that the NRG Stadium is going to be the first and largest sports stadium in the country to have a no trafficking zone. So we were involved in that press release. We've been on Fox 26 because we advocate for children in foster care, because a huge portion of the children that are trafficked are in the foster care system. And if in a system that's that broken, if you get funding per child that's in the foster care system, but you can't say with preciseness how many kids are in the foster care system. How is that adding up?
Yeah,
so there's a lot of gaps that need to be bridged. So we have a show that's for Real Beauty, Real Women. We have other people from nonprofits that come on and speak about what they are passionate about. I'm also affiliated with a radio station, 953 Jams. My show on there is called The Testimony. And I feel
been on there.
Yes, I feel like anyone has a story. If you're living and breathing, you've been through something that can inspire someone else. And we just trying to change the world however we can.
One day at a time, one person at a time. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Rich Love Society in the building. Hey, I really appreciate you coming through, taking out your time to sit down with the number one spot. I want to give you a hug, but we'll do that.
That's a lot
of but I definitely appreciate you taking out your time to sit down with us.
Of course.
It's been a long time coming, but we finally made it happen. It's all about the time at the end of the day.
I really appreciate you, and also Solo and MJ.
Oh, absolutely.
We kind of go back.
Yeah,
all of you guys, because we've shot other things together, and I just appreciate you guys a lot.
Absolutely, no problem. Hey, that's what we hear. Hey, they say teamwork make the dream work. So that's what we're about, man. Just perpetuating the movement and making sure everybody win. You know, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So I have a couple more questions just before we get up out of here. Real quick, I like to ask everybody this question, and I may know now. Just considering what we just talked about, and the stuff that you've been through and everything. But what is your why? Why do you continue to do what you do?
My why has changed so much.
I know, right?
My why, man. It's so many. I can't think of one. I can't think of just one.
Got you. That's
to
all
be
right.
able to be a beacon of light and hope for someone else that has sold their body, that has used drugs to the point where their memory is not the same, and been in and out of treatment centers, and you know, Satan attacks those, or the enemy attacks those that have a purpose on their life, and I believe we all have a purpose.
Absolutely.
Something that I really didn't speak about for a while because I was still dealing with it was I dealt with something called agoraphobia. And agoraphobia.
I was gonna ask you about that, but I couldn't remember how you pronounce it.
Agoraphobia.
Yeah, what is talk to us about that?
That is, it's a mental disorder.
Okay.
Where you don't like far distances.
Got you.
A lot of people that struggle with that don't leave their homes. I didn't fly on a plane for about 7 years. I couldn't go more than 40, 50 miles past my house. I didn't go anywhere out of town. I couldn't ride on elevators. I had extreme anxiety and panic attacks. So last year, I went to LA to shoot a documentary about Skid Row.
Yeah.
And I've been to Miami. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Austin.
Come on now.
So when I tell you that everything that I'm doing now are things that Satan was trying to control me with.
Right.
He was trying to keep me from not wanting to go places and not do things.
Right.
Not tell my story. I was afraid of having my picture taken.
Yeah, come on.
I was afraid of being judged and being out in the forefront, and now I do that every day.
Do. Come on now.
So I think people should think about, you know, what are you afraid of? Because whatever that is something you need to just go do.
That's it. That's it. And they say that's the only way to overcome that fear. You just got to go do it.
And my why, if I had to pinpoint one, first and foremost is God and giving Him the glory for what He's done with my life.
Sure.
But to be completely honest, the last thing that my mother told me was, go and be the best. Give it 110%.
That's it.
And I know that her leaving, the strength and drive that I have to do all those things I've been talking about wanting to do. Yeah. I'm just doing them.
That's it.
She is
not
my
even
why.
thinking about it. Just you're not there.
Is my why.
Yeah, you already know she's smiling down on you. So
yes.
You doing what she wants you to do. That's it, man. That's what's up. And I got one more question before we get up out of here. Just basically, if you can sum it up in a word, phrase, a paragraph, what is one thing that you'd like the world to know about Rich Love Society?
What I want the world to know about Rich Love Society is no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've told yourself, because, you know, no one talks to you more than you talk to yourself.
That's it.
How many thoughts, thousands of thoughts we have every day.
Every day, yeah.
And our subconscious mind hears those thoughts and what we say out of our mouth. I remember when I was going through extreme mental trauma, I was going to church almost every day because I was afraid of myself. And I remember I would go into church and I would just be like, I'm so afraid. I keep having these panic attacks. I'm afraid to leave my house, and I'm just, venting and frightened for myself. And someone finally told me one day, they said, you know what? You're creating that. In the Bible, in Proverbs, it says life and death is in the power of the tongue.
All day.
And I was creating that fear.
That's it.
And a self-fulfilling prophecy is where if you think you're afraid of something, you're going to be afraid of that thing. And you're not going to do that thing.
That's it.
And so I just don't believe the hype. Don't believe even if it's something you told yourself. Or, I've had friends and people that told me that their parents have said, you're not even going to be nothing. I've been in foster care with kids that were molested by their fathers, given STDs from parents, shot up full of drugs and pimped out and all types of things. Just imagine that. I came from a home that loved me. But can you imagine someone that's been told they ain't gonna be nothing?
Yeah, come on now.
To transform your mind?
Yeah.
I want for people to, I mean, it's not really what I want them to know about me. I just want them to know about God.
Absolutely.
I want for them to know about the grace that's new and fresh every morning, despite all the things that we do.
Yeah.
And if I can have one person be like, you know what? Yeah, I sold drugs. Yeah, I was trapping out. Yeah, I was, prostituting. Yeah, I was doing all these things.
Yeah.
But what can you do with that? I want for everyone to think of what they've done and think of what they can do with that.
That's it.
Whose lives they can change with that. Can you go speak in prisons about things that you've gone through?
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't been through all those things, but if you touch one person in your life and make a difference,
that's it.
Your whole life is worth it.
Wow, absolutely, absolutely. And you can always turn with those so-called, negatives or things that you've been through into positives. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always say, like things that happen to you, you can become the spokesperson for that thing, or whatever the case may be. And also just speaking like when you was talking about the fears, like what I found out with the so-called fears that we make up in our mind, they never play out the way that we make them up in our mind. A lot of times they fall off, depending on what it is, So
fear is false evidence of hearing
real all day.
Because you get so worked up and you waiting for this thing to happen, and a lot of times it doesn't happen.
That's it. Yeah. But probably all the time.
And even if it doesn't happen, because my fear of flying, it wasn't of dying. It wasn't of the crashing. It was just being in the plane.
Yeah, and it's like
how you not gonna be afraid of dying, but you're afraid of being in it?
Come on now.
So, I mean, when you really just look at it, God is just so good.
That's it,
so
all
good
the
to
time.
all of us. And even those that don't believe in God, He loves you too.
That's it. Man, that's for sure, man. Once again, I appreciate the Rich Love Society for taking out your time.
Of course.
Hey, to sit down with the #1 spot. If you ain't at the #1 spot, you're #2, and nobody remembers #2. Remember that, baby. And like my boy Buck say, till next time, keep that #1 spot in your mind. And hey, Rich Love, speaking of Rich Love, take us into the video. Rich Love. Hey, what was this spot? I see it's based on a true story. So yeah, just give us a little background on your Rich Love song and then shoot into the video for us.
So Military Minded G is a CHH artist and audio engineer that I've worked with, and he came up with the hook.
Man, shout out to that boy.
Yeah,
man.
he's so talented. Like when I'm in the studio with him and his wife Isabel, or Bella, he'll play a track and he'll just be like coming up with I'm like, where are you getting this stuff from? He's heavily anointed. Yes. And so he sent over the hook and he was like, I want you to get on this with me. Like this, I want you on it. Yeah. And I wrote the hook and added my everything to it.
Already.
And it's probably like one of people's favorite songs.
Yeah.
And the visual is inspired by addiction. It's inspired by overcoming. That's a situation that he was in where he was intoxicated, drinking. And I basically, in the video, I symbolize God's grace. Yeah. Because I'm not stopping him, because we have free will. Yeah. But I'm still there every step of the way.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Oh, just to let y'all know, I'm assistant editor on that video, too.
Yes. You chopped that thing up.
Solo One Productionz in the building, baby.
Yes.
Hey, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Of course.
Hey, well, shoot, let's shoot into it right now. Rich Love.
This song is called Rich Love, and it's featuring Military Minded G, and I'm Rich Love Society, and I hope you like it.
Already, man. Exclusive right here on the #1 spot, baby. Yeah!
What's poppin', crackin', shakin', baby? It's your boy Q.U.E from the award-winning #1 spot, man. If y'all liking what y'all checking out right now, just like, subscribe, and click that bell so y'all will be notified as new videos arrive. And also, if y'all want to check out exclusive episodes of the #1 spot, just go to our Vimeo channel at the #1 spot network. Just click the link in the description below. Cause if you ain't at the #1 spot, you're #2. And nobody remembers #2. Remember that, baby. And like my boy Buck say, Till next time, keep that number one spot in your mind. And we out of here. Yeah.
It's the number one spot. Remember that. It's the number one spot. Remember that. It's the number one spot. Remember that. If you at the number two, nobody remember you. It's the number one spot.
Thanks for watching.